Yo, what's good? Don't mind the wind. Yes, I am out there. Why am I outside? I'm not gonna lie, bro. Inside is not the way to record. So it's either, A or B. I'm picking B, so I'm outside. And I want this question to linger in your head. Who is better to deal with Castle? I've watched a Mingo video, one of my first Mingo videos I watched. I think it was a POV from Muda, Stop him, aka Stop him. What did I say? Stop him, Mingo, and his POV. No, Muda. So I was watching that video, and he called out something. He was like, "I'm gonna take care of the castles," but he brought Ash. If you guys don't know, Ash has a drill. So before she could get the actual breach open, it drills in the breach, and then it detonates. But with Zofia, it's a literal impact. So literally, it's sensitive. Whatever it touches is going to impact that vicinity. And I was telling myself, I was like, how different can Ash and Zofia be? But the only thing that made me wonder is who's better to take care of castles. So let that question linger in your head. Just remember that question. Who is better to take care of castles? So I want to go over the pros for both of them. I'm not going to lie. The only thing they had in common was breach charges. They removed breaches from Zofia and gave her hard breach. So the only thing they have in common now is claymores. So really and truly, Ash and Zofia are literally the same people. The only thing is Zofia has hard breach. And I was thinking, if you worry about castle so much, and let's just say it's a strat that deals with hard breaches more than the castle strat, would you bring Zofia or bring Ash, or you bring both? But let's just say you have to only pick one. Who would you bring? And you may say, well, of course Zofia, because it's a situational push. You know what I'm saying? It's always a preference, but it's always who's gonna fit this push more. And most of the times, I really don't see people use Zofia. They only use Ash, and if they do use Zofia, it's probably just for the breaches and impacting the floor and whatnot. But in my opinion, I believe in what I feel like and what I think, Zofia has to be better than Ash. And it's not because she has hard breaches, but it's because she can deal with versatile operators. She can clear castles. She can open hard breach, and also she can impact and stun. So she has an offense and a defense aside to her ability. But Ash only has an offense. She can only breach 2 times, plus her hard breaches. So that's what? Wait, 3, 4, 5. She could breach 5 times, which is it's cool, but she can only do soft surfaces. If you need a hard breacher, you're not gonna bring Ash. And let's just say Ash might be quote unquote better because again it's a drill and an impact, so it doesn't apply to anything. So you rather take all the softness out of the map versus taking a bit of hard breach of the metal, which is the reinforcements. You know what I'm saying? So my point right there, what I made in that I guess I'll call it scenario, that little scenario I just made right there, I'm trying to push a narrative about how certain operators are good in certain situations. Yes. Bro, I feel like this, like the Habana and Ace topic. The last time I was, who was it? Forgot who it was. It was probably Benji. It wasn't Benji. I know it wasn't Benji. It was somebody else. But I joined the live and I asked who's better, Habana or Ace. And it's all situational. It's all depending on who's needed. But really and truly, you cannot compare Ash to Zofia. And this is where I bring in Callie. I've noticed Callie and Ash have the same exact setup. They have hard breaches. They have claymores. And their breach does the same exact thing. It's a drill, and it makes a big old impact. But with Zofia, you instantly get the access. With Ash, it's like You know how they people ash rush? Is like they ash rush. You have to wait 2 seconds. You could go in. Zofia is just an instinct. It's just the moment it touches something, it's gonna detonate. And I feel like it's way better because I will want access faster rather than trying to wait for a drill and then just push forward, you know? But the risk is with trying to rush with Zofia is that impact can hurt you. So it's like, if it even touches you so close, it's gonna hurt you. But when it comes to ash, you can ash charge something, wait 2 seconds, and just walk in, in that big old explosion. But I don't want to have like a debate about who's honestly better. I want to have a debate about who should be used more. I believe Zofia should be used more. I understand Ash is faster. Ash has, a good weapon. Ash can get like soft breach. She can get soft surfaces. But when it comes to Zofia, she can get everything. And she has an attack and a defense ability. Ash doesn't. It's only attack. So right after you have no more breaches, Ash is damn near useless. But with Zofia, if you have no more impacts, you can use concussions. If you ain't got concussions, you can use your hard breach. You can use your hard breach and solo push majority of the things that you need someone to pair up you with. So with Ash, you might need someone else to pair up with her because she cannot get all the util. She can't even get a simple, a mirror? Yeah, mirror, yeah. She can cut her mirror. I'm tripping, yeah. But when it comes to actually pushing in the building and getting util, getting kills, getting picks, you only have 5 chances to use to get a pick off of Ash. 3 hard breaches, 2 Ash charges. But with Zofia, she has 2 of each and then 2 hard breach. And I don't want to keep on throwing hard breach and soft breach. I want to tell you something. I want to show you guys something. I want to actually put this into life. Zofia is better than Ash. Even though Ash and Callie beef, I don't think so. But Zofia is better than Ash when it comes to certain things, and that's where it gets controversial. It's like, well, she is better, but only in certain things, certain scenarios. I get that, but it's like, bro, it's a lot to really take in when it comes to Zofia, Ash, and honestly, any hard breacher that is versatile. And I believe she's the only one that's versatile. Minus Callie is not versatile. Yeah, she's pretty much the only one. Her and Striker are versatile. So, no. Her, Callie, Fuse, Ying. No, Ying not versatile. She can't. But yeah, Ying. So all those operators. But really and truly, Zofia and Striker is the only 2 operators that actually have a support and an attack ability, because again, Striker has no ability. He has literally util, like double util stack, and then you have Zofia having the concussions and the impacts in one ability. So it takes away from majority of the operators that you would need to get hard breach. Like bring Ace, cool, Ace is throwable, etc., etc. But now this is where I get to the common things that Ash and Zozo have when it comes to breaching. Once you run out of your breaches, once you run out of your charges of your launcher, you have to breach, meaning you have to go up to something. So let's bring back this question. Who would you bring for castles, Zofia or Ash? Zofia and Ash from a distance could obviously destroy castles, true, but once you have no more, I guess you could call it breach charges, as in like your launcher, you would have to physically go up to the castle and place a breach charge. The only thing difference is Zofia has a hard breach. Does that make any difference? Like let that sink in. Ash, boom, bang, bop. Castle's done, and then she has 3 extra breach charges to go up to and destroy castles. Castle only has 4 barricades. Okay, cool. Ash has 5 breaches in total. Zofia only has 4 in total. That's perfect, More the merrier from Ash, true, but that's perfect. So when it comes to physically going up to a castle barricade, the only difference is Ashe has an instant breach, which is, the breach charge, and Zofia has a hard breach, which is gonna take some time for it to open, and then it would detonate. So that's probably like 3 to 2 seconds, not wasted, but used just to open a castle barricade. And again, I'm not really here to tell you guys who's better on use this, use that. I just want to bring light to these two operators because they're so similar, but so unalike in the same exact topic, which is pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. It's mind-boggling how majority of the times I see Ashe used so improperly, and I see Zofia used not at all. And you may think, whoa, Ashe is Ashe, true, but when it comes to Ashe, it doesn't really try to put you in that spot. It's like, what do I do to honestly not get caught up in this Ashe rush? Because again, Ashe is an instinct, The moment that shit hits the fucking barricade, it takes 1 to 2 seconds to actually detonate. So that's you never know if someone's coming through that doorway. But with Zofia, it's sensitive. So you have to be mindful on how you project your launcher, because once you shoot it, whatever's in the way is going to destroy it. But you have to be precise, because you would never know if you would actually get that hit on it. And then, the concussions speak for itself. Ella and her being sisters, that's lore. But for the concussions, it's a lot of self-support. And you may say, well, I could bring Finka. Well, I'm going to still run Ashe, bring Finka. Someone could res me, I can do this, do that. But when it comes to self-protection, Zofia has that. Mine is being, like, her whipstand was, like, what? When she first came out, was pretty tough. But either way, losing whipstand is all right. But when it comes to the concussions, bro, she can support herself. She doesn't need to run flashbangs. She doesn't need to run grenades. She doesn't need to run someone. She doesn't need to pair up somebody. She has herself, which says in lore she's pretty selfish. She's I may be wrong, but she's pretty selfish. So when it comes to that, it puts a narrative on an operator. And I'm not saying lore can honestly help you be better with an operator, but it just gives you the mindset of an operator when you actually play them. You have the voiceovers, you have the things they say before and after a game starts. You have the connections they have with certain operators. If you pick the right operator, they talk to each other before the game starts, and it's cool to see that. It's cool to pick it up. But again, bro, I don't want anything. But for what I'm saying for myself and for what I'm posting about Zozo and Ashe is they're so similar. The best way to get in the building is to get in the building, right? But now, once you get in the building, you have to destroy util, cameras, breaches, hatches, hard surfaces. You have roamers, you have traps, you have all these things that prevent an attacker from walking in the building. And I'm not gonna lie, Ashe rushing is not going to help you destroy any of those things, because Ashe can only get one thing, which is soft surfaces. If everything is reinforced, how would you get inside the building? Bring Zofia. But she would say, well, just bring Thermite, bring Ace, bring Habana, bring someone with hard breach. Zofia has it all. She can do soft, hard, and concussions. She can do it all. And like I said, the only thing they have in common is claymores. That's it. They have claymores in common. So just that alone is what makes Zozo and Ashe so compatible. It makes them so unique about each other. If you ever have a stack, like a duo queue especially, and they constantly run Zofia Ashe, Zofia Ashe, Zofia Ashe, I'm not gonna lie, that would be a crazy duo, because Ashe and Zofia are so compatible. Even though the drill might take 2 seconds longer, you still get a hole. Let's be real. Even though it takes 2 seconds longer, you still get a fucking hole. Let's be real. So now, when it comes to scopes, it don't really mean anything. The weapons are cool and all, but I'm just trying to focus on the abilities. Now, let's jump back to the castle question. Still, who would you bring to deal with castle? Zofia or Ash? I honestly think Zofia is still better. And like I said, it's controversial. It's certain situations you would bring certain operators. I get that. Can it be a point of time where Zofia really, really, really needs a buff? What buff is that? I would say withstand. Bring her withstand back. And give her an extra 1 concussion and breach. Impact. Ash has 3 charges for her hard breach. You know what I'm saying? Why can't Zozo have 3 of each? So that's what? 3 plus 3 is 6, 7, 8. She has 8 in total for like breaching anything. No, 8 in total of her abilities. But 5 in breaches. Does it make any sense? I probably fucked up on that. But what I meant by that is this. Add an extra charge to her ability in itself and give her her withstand back. That's what I believe that would make her not better, keep her balanced. Because Zofia is not honestly bad. She's just not used as much in scenarios, or not even used in the aspect of, I guess, her speed. I don't know. But in my opinion, I think why people don't use her is her speed, just the lack of help, I guess. But I don't know why. I don't know. I don't even think Zofia is lacking any help. Like she helps. She helps. She absolutely helps. It's her being a 2-speed. I don't know. If she was a 3-speed, that would be a fucking crazy. So I believe that alone in itself shows a lot when it comes to just trying to get inside the building. Remember now, don't lose me here. The question floating around is, who's better to deal with Castle? But now, when it comes to gameplay, minus everything I said, but keep in mind, adding gameplay, the speed, the armor, the difficulty, the gadgets, the weapons they have, the TTK of the weapons. You know, let's get nitty gritty. Let's get personal. It doesn't prove anything. It doesn't show anything. But what it does show is when an operator is picked, they're picked for a reason. You may say, okay, cool, I'm gonna use Ash to burn Melusi's. Realize you have 2 seconds before that breach detonates, before that missile of a charge detonates. Zofia, the moment it touches the ground, the moment your impact touches a wood crack, it's going to detonate. That's a lot quicker. That means you can move faster. That is what I'm trying to say. How is that so hard to say? Anyways, but that is what I'm trying to push. That is a W narrative. She's quicker. A lot quicker. And minus the Ash Rush, minus, she being a 3-speed, fuck all that. Zofia is way quicker. Like, I haven't really been watching the pick ratios for operators, so I don't know where Zofia lands at when it comes to picking operators, but for sure, she's a lot quicker. There's no doubt about it. So when it comes to Zofia and Ash, you can use anybody. Let's be reasonable. Let's be real. You can pick who you want to pick, do what you want to do, but if you don't want to ask for help, you might as well use Zofia. At most, you have Bandit, Kaede for the hard breaches, but anything else, you can do it. If you want to walk in and not use anything and use concussions, Zofia and Ella have the same exact concussion ability, So, and then plus her having impacts, and that is so unique on defending, Ella has impacts and Ella charges. Just like Zofia. Zofia has impacts and Ella charges. They're literally one person. And they're one person, but their own person. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just think that was a interesting topic. I'm sorry for the slow talking. I just woke up like 30 minutes ago. I'll probably add an extra 5 minutes to that. So 35 minutes ago, my voice is not cracky. My voice is my mouth is kind of dry and all that other stuff. I want to get better at talking. I genuinely do. And not to be a fucking boomer, but like I said from the jump, A or B, I rather pick B, so that's why I'm outside. So, you know, there's nothing wrong, but it's just, you know, when a content creator wants to make a good video, but they force it to a point as where they want to be in an environment where they can just be themselves and they have to put on a persona and not sound a certain way, that's how I feel right now. My voice sounds strange because I normally don't talk like this. I normally talk pretty fast. I talk pretty gibberish. I push words out my mouth and it sounds like shit, you know? So I would try my best to just put myself in a mindset where I don't try to overwhelm myself in the way how I want my videos to be, which is okay. So that is why I rather deal with the birds rather than being inside, you know? So that's okay. And the wind. But yeah, you know, like always, have fun. Chi-chis.